Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And today we're going to continue talking about the surf, the sun, and the fun on Australia's Gold Coast, which is a region and a city in eastern Australia in Queensland. And this is like a beach paradise there. If you're into the sand, if you're into sun and fun, this is the place for you.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing there from the looks of the pictures. I've never been myself. I'd love to go. We started out by telling you it's located in the southern hemisphere. What's important about that? Well, you have to prepare yourself to go to the bottom half of the world where their seasons are opposite to ours. So when it's winter here, it's summer there. So you'd want to plan your trip according to the seasons that they experience there. It's a long trip to go and then find out that it's in the middle of winter. You might be a little disappointed thinking it's summer and you get to go to the beach and go into the water or surf. Although really big fans of surfing are not going to let some cold water stop them. They just wear the wetsuits that kind of keep them warmer. So we talked about Surfer's Paradise, which is beautiful and a very popular tourist destination. And we also mentioned the Sky Point Observation Deck. And that's located on the 77th and 78th floors of the Q1 Tower. It's a really tall building. It's the tallest one they have in Australia. And if you're really brave and you don't mind heights, you can go up there and check it out. I'm sure it has a beautiful view below.
And if you're adventurous, of course, you can go outside of the Q1 Tower. There's some kind of rail system there where you can scale the exterior of the building and conquer the top of the tower. And your adrenaline will be rushing. It will be very exciting, and it will be unforgettable. Well, let's talk about some more things you can do in the Gold Coast in today's program. So let's get started. Let's listen now from top to bottom.
Now, let's get away from the city buzz and turn to the natural wonders of the Gold Coast. A 30-minute drive south brings you to the Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary. Unlike typical zoos with animals enclosed behind fences or glass windows, the wildlife park encourages interaction with Australia's native species. You can get up close and feed some animals by hand, including kangaroos and colorful rainbow lorikeets, a species of Australian parrot. A special treat exclusive to the state of Queensland is the opportunity to hug a koala. In this sanctuary, you're not just observing, but also stepping into the world of Australia's indigenous wildlife. Continuing our journey, we'll venture inland into the Springbrook National Park. Full of green rainforests and clear rock pools, this vast park features an abundance of walking trails for you to wander along while you spot wildlife and admire natural landscapes. A highlight is the Natural Bridge, a rock formation created by a waterfall that has, over time, eroded the rock below. Moreover, beneath this bridge is a cave, where a breathtaking show begins as night falls. The cave is lit up with a soft blue glow cast by glowworms, tiny insects only found in Australia and New Zealand. This twinkling star-like performance is a must-see sight that visitors will remember for the rest of their lives. So, whatever your interests may be, the Gold Coast has something to offer you. Come and discover the fantastic blend of urban life and natural beauty that awaits you here in this fascinating destination.
Okay, everybody, it's time for us to discuss the contents of today's lesson. We were talking about what you can do in the city of Gold Coast. Well, now we're going to get away from the city buzz and turn to the natural wonders of the Gold Coast. Some people like the beach, they like water activities and things like that, but some people like to get out in nature, which is understandable because Australia has some really interesting wildlife. They've got animals and plants there that don't exist in other parts of the world.
Yeah.
So if you can get to a car or find somebody to drive you, a 30-minute drive south brings you to the Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary. So remember, when we talk about how long it takes to get someplace, we will say this 30-minute drive, a 2-hour flight, etc. Sometimes people add an S to that. It's a 30 minutes drive south. I think they used to do that a long time ago, and it was considered correct, but nowadays it's not correct. Okay, do not add an S there. It's a 30-minute drive. And that's how long it takes you if you drive a car. Remember, you got to drive on the left in Australia.
Yeah, I taught business English for a long time, and I had clients here that would constantly say it's a 2 days seminar or a 2 days workshop. No, 2-day seminar. Be careful with that. Yeah, it turns into an adjective. So it takes you 30 minutes. And you can drive south where you will arrive at this Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary. If it's got wildlife, it just has lots of wild animals who haven't been domesticated or turned into pets. So they're out in their natural habitat where they're comfortable. They're still kind of fenced in. I mean, the sanctuary has boundaries or borders to it, but they have a lot more freedom than, say, a pet in your house or in your backyard, or even at a zoo or an aquarium, where they definitely have smaller areas to explore. And, animals like to, they like to wander. They like to get out there. When you say a sanctuary, Tom, what does that mean?
It's a place of safety, basically. We do have sanctuaries in the United States for refugees from other countries. And in this particular case, they were talking about a place where wild animals can be safe from hunters and from deforestation and things like that. So it's a wildlife sanctuary. And unlike typical zoos with animals enclosed behind fences or glass windows, the wildlife park encourages interaction with Australia's native species. So yes, in typical zoos, in common zoos, you've got animals enclosed behind fences or they're enclosed behind glass windows. That is the case with zoos here in Taiwan. The animals will be in some kind of enclosure. It might be to the open air, but they're still enclosed in there. They can't get out, and you can't get to the animals. But here they encourage you to interact with those native species. They want you to get up close and personal with the native animals of Australia, which could include what? The koala, the kangaroo, the wallaby, etc.
Yeah, thinking of all those cute animals. There are some really amazing animals, especially marsupials, where the mother would take care of her baby in a pouch that's attached to the mom's body. Those type of marsupials are almost all located in Australia. So it's kind of fun. America only has one that's native, and that's the opossum. But that's another program. I think they're so cute. I was just looking at videos about these marsupials, especially the kangaroo, which is kind of a crazy animal. So this wildlife park encourages interaction with Australia's native species. So you can actually get out there and interact with them. If you're brave enough. They probably don't have any dangerous animals there that will charge you. But even a kangaroo can hit you with their feet and knock you out. Their legs are quite strong, to be honest, if you watch them fight, each other especially. You can get up close. Sometimes we'll use that phrase, you can get up close and personal with something. If you get up close and personal with something, you're really kind of face-to-face with that thing or that person or animal that you're talking to or interacting with. And it's not online, guys. You have to be in person to do this.
Exactly. And of course, you can get close to kangaroos and also something called the rainbow lorikeet, which is a species of Australian parrot. Now, a parrot, of course, is a colorful bird. Sometimes they can talk. People here, of course, love parrots as pets. And this is a special kind of parrot. It's a lorikeet. And again, it's very colorful. I think it's got a blue head and it's got a red neck and other colorful feathers all over its body.
It looks like a piece of candy, Tom.
It sort of does, indeed. And so you can get close to that particular bird. And a special treat exclusive to the state of Queensland is the opportunity to hug a koala. koala. So this is exclusive to Queensland. If something's exclusive, it only happens there. It could be talking about maybe a club or an organization that doesn't allow anybody to join. You have to have special qualifications to join. Oh, yes, this is an exclusive club. You need to go away, you low-life scum, you.
Tom, there are also things you can get. Maybe you get an exclusive invitation to attend the opening of a new film. Exclusive just means, as Tom said, it's limited to a certain group or certain thing. So it's kind of cool. It's a special treat, exclusive or only happening right there in the state of Queensland. And that's the opportunity to hug one of those adorable koalas. They're also marsupials. They're so cute. I can't stand it. So in this sanctuary, you're not just observing. If you observe, you just look. You don't touch. You don't participate. You just look. But here you can interact with some of these animals, which means you actually get to communicate, maybe to touch, to feel, things like that, interacting. And you're also stepping into the world of Australia's indigenous wildlife. If something's indigenous, it just means it was originally there. It naturally occurs in this particular place. You could have maybe a plant that's indigenous to a country or to an area. You can have a people who are indigenous to that particular area. So these are animals that are indigenous to Australia. Well, it used to be that you could only find them in Australia. Nowadays, if a country wants something, they buy it and they ship it home. But these animals were really originally only found in Australia.
Exactly.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. So you should check this out if you're into animals and you want to get up close to those animals. Yes, check out the indigenous wildlife of Australia at this particular park. Okay, that brings us to the midway point in our lesson for today. We're going to take a break now and listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hello everyone, 我是派老师。今天讲解的是11月16 Unit 8 Surf, Sun and Fun on Australia's Gold Coast Day 2。今天的课程延续第一天内容，继续介绍澳洲黄金海岸有哪些旅游观光景点。喜欢和动物接触的朋友，如果到了黄金海岸，就有机会近距离接触动物，包括袋鼠，甚至拥抱无尾熊。也有机会到春溪国家公园参观 Natural Bridge 下方洞穴里在夜晚上演的星光秀。整个洞穴会被 glowworm 所发出的柔和蓝光所点亮。好，我们一起来看学习重点吧。请同学看到第一段第二个句子 A 30-minute drive south。请同学特别注意的就是我们中文呢，通常每个句子里面很容易看到动词，可是你会发现英文实际上所用的动词相对的是比较少的。就像我们中文会说，你往南开车开30分钟，英文很简便的，你就用名词这个 drive 来说就好了。A 30-minute drive south， 那就是往南开30分钟的车。再来，请看第三个句子 Unlike typical zoos,with animals enclosed behind fences or glass windows。 请同学把 enclosed 这个 ed 画起来，要记住在 with 后面照理来说是不可以出现动词的，所以你看到的这个 enclosed 它其实是经过了什么？已经经过变化了，所以这里就是这些动物呢，它是被围起来的。那围在哪里呢？就是围栏这些栏杆的后面。好，再来请同学看到第四个句子 Get up close 就是近距离接触，这个请同学特别注意。再来请看第五个句子 A special treat exclusive to， 这里的这个形容词exclusive 特别重要，请同学特别注意这里到底是什么意思呢？也就是限定。那这边当然所指的就是只有在昆士兰这个地方，你才可以做到后面这件事。什么事呢？有机会抱无尾熊。所以 exclusive 有一个排除只限定给谁的概念。我们比方来说，我们就说 有一些动物呢，那就只有呢北美才有。The jaguar and puma are exclusive to the New World. 好，所以 be exclusive to 那就是仅限定于什么。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. It's day 2 of our travel unit, and we're focusing on the beautiful area found in Australia called the Gold Coast. Day 1, we taught you that Gold Coast is also the name of the city there, but it's also the area where you can find all these beautiful beaches in the region of Queensland, and that's the Gold Coast. So today we've been kind of focusing on getting out of the city, and the first place we spent some time talking about was located after a 30-minute drive south from the Gold Coast, and it brings you to a place called Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary. It's hard to say. So it's not like regular zoos, which kind of fence in all the animals there, and you can't touch them or feed them. You're not supposed to feed the animals in the zoo, by the way. Be careful with that. You might hurt them with your unapproved food. But these animals aren't enclosed. They're kind of wandering free in the area there. And the wildlife park encourages people to interact with some of Australia's native species, which are very cool.
Indeed, you can get up close and personal with those animals. They include kangaroos and lorikeets. And, of course, you might even get to hug a koala.
Woo!
Well, let's continue our journey. We'll venture inland into the Springbrook National Park. Lots of countries around the world have national parks. Like here in Taiwan, you've got Taroko National Park, etc. And here in Australia, they've got one called Springbrook National Park. You can venture inland. If you venture, you just head in a particular direction for adventure. Inland means away from the coast, okay? So lots of people enjoy the coast, but then after a while they get bored of surfing and sunbathing, so they say, let's head inland. Let's see what we can find out or what we can explore away from the beach into the interior of the country.
Yeah, remember you are on the coastal edge there when you're just at the beach, but we're going to go inland. We're going to go and drive inwards into that area to see what you can see. So it's very cool to go to this particular area, but we're going to leave that for now. We're going to continue on our journey. This is the second paragraph. It says here, we'll venture inland into the Springbrook National Park. Yeah, again, inland just means not on the coast, not on the edges or the borders of a country. You have to go into that area. What does the Springbrook National Park offer? Well, it's full of green rainforests. If it's a rainforest, it has a lot of rain, a lot of greenery, a lot of plants, probably a lot of bugs too. Because if it has a lot of green there, it gets a lot of rain. It's humid, so be careful with that. And clear rock pools, which sounds beautiful. Our writer describes it as being a vast park. If something's vast, it's huge. It's very, very big. It doesn't have to be land that you're talking about. It can be a quantity of something. It could represent something that's a non-count vastness. Maybe he has a vast array of knowledge about something. So this is a vast park, probably because it has a lot of land.
And it has an abundance of walking trails for you to wander along while you spot wildlife and admire natural landscapes. So again, if you love the great outdoors, this is the place for you. They have lots of walking trails there. An abundance of something just means a large amount of something. A vast amount of something, I suppose you could say, and you could wander along those trails and you could spot wildlife. Again, bring your cameras and your binoculars and you can probably see some pretty cool animals there. Also, you can admire natural landscapes. A landscape, of course, is the appearance of the land, and of course, lots of people like landscape photography, so they'll bring along their camera and take some really wonderful pictures of mountains and oceans and lakes and things like that.
Another way we use landscape, if you're into using a software on your computer and your company only has the English version of Word or any other actually software, maybe Excel even, you can pick how your paper is going to be printed out or even how...
Oriented?
Oriented is a good word. Thanks, Tom. So if it's portrait, it's vertical, and if it's landscape, it's horizontal. So that's another way you'll often see that. I'm not sure what the Chinese is. I prefer to do work on my computer in English, not in Chinese. But if you are forced into it, now you know what portrait and landscape mean. So you can see all these beautiful areas of land. A highlight is the Natural Bridge. This is an amazing place. It's a rock formation created by a waterfall that has over time, as time has gone by, eroded the rock below. That's the strength of water. It can actually erode things given enough time, and it took thousands and thousands of years. That's how we got the Grand Canyon. Water eroded that. Taroko Gorge, Tailuge, it also had water that eroded those rocks. So you can go and see what the Natural Bridge looks like. To erode, you can erode a lot of things. You can erode someone's confidence in you by doing things that are disloyal or harmful to them. But here it's not just figurative, it's literal. It took away that rock as time went by.
Right, and of course we're talking about the Natural Bridge with its waterfall, and it has eroded rock below. Rock refers to the substance, not the individual boulders. Moreover, or in addition, beneath this bridge, underneath this bridge, is a cave where a breathtaking show begins as night falls. So yes, underneath this bridge is also a cave, which is a hole in a mountain, and it doesn't go through the mountain. If it does, that would be a tunnel, but if it only goes into the mountain and doesn't come out the other side, then that is a cave. But in any case, if you check out that cave, there will be a breathtaking show which begins as night falls. When night comes, then this show will begin. It's not actually a show of people putting on a dance or something like that. It's a natural show.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And you can only see it in Australia. So this is something I would tend to want to go and check out because it's so special. So you see this breathtaking show as night falls. The cave is lit up, but not with electricity or lights or even fireflies. This cave is lit up with a soft blue glow. Glow is a word we use when light has this sort of I guess, shadowy appearance, you know. It kind of gives this glow. This is a blue glow, though, which is so interesting because they have glowworms at this particular place. And these tiny insects are only found in Australia and New Zealand. We have toys called glowworms in America, where they light up if you turn the lights off. I think they were trying to imitate the real thing, which is only found in Australia and New Zealand, these glowworms. We're saying it's a twinkling star-like performance and that it's a must-see sight that visitors will remember for the rest of their lives. If it's twinkling, it's kind of like that sparkling we talked about in day one. If it's twinkling, again, it has that shine of a light, it gleams. And stars sometimes will look brighter and then not so bright. Twinkle, 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 little star is the famous English song that kids learn. This is twinkling and star-like. They're not stars, but they're star-like or similar to stars in the way they perform. So this is one of the must-see sites that you'll want to check out if you go to Australia and see the Gold Coast.
And you will remember it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So whatever your interests may be, the Gold Coast has something to offer you. So yes, indeed, there are lots of things of interest in the Gold Coast or in the city Gold Coast. And come and discover the fantastic blend of urban life and natural beauty that awaits you here in this fascinating destination. If something's fantastic, it's kind of like a fantasy. It's just really wonderful. It's really great. It makes you very happy. and it has a fantastic blend of urban life in the city, if you like that. And you can also experience natural beauty with the great outdoors. All those things await you here in Australia. To await just means something is waiting for you. Yes, all these things await you. You should come and check it out. And now's a good time because it's getting cold here in Taiwan and it's getting warmer in Australia.
Yeah.
Well, it's time for us to hear once again from our Chinese teacher, and then we'll say goodbye.
好，那接下来请同学看到第二段前面两个句子，这两个句子其实都属于分词构句的形态。所谓分词构句，就是前后的子句由于主词或所指称的对象相同，为了让句子简洁而省略了连接词所做的变化。比方说第一个句子里面 continuing our journey， 在还没有做改变之前，原本的句子应该是 We continue our journey and will venture inland。而第二个句子则是 This vast park is full of green rainforests and clear rock pools and it features an 点点点点点。这两个句子的差别在于，第二个句子由于原本的动词是 be 动词，省略主词以后 being 也可以省略，所以只留下 full of green rainforests。再来，请同学看到第四个句子 moreover 这边。首先 beneath this bridge is a cave， 这是个倒装句 ，a cave is beneath this bridge， 所以呢有个洞穴在桥下。好，再来要另外注意的就是 where 这个关系副词了。好，后面呢应该是要加完整句。什么叫完整句呢？就是不缺主词或者不缺受词。要请同学特别注意，这句话的意思就是 A breathtaking show begins as night falls。 什么意思？在这个洞穴里，夜幕降临了，一场令人惊叹的表演就开始了，就在这个地方，就在这个洞穴里。好，再来请同学看到的是第五个句子。第五个句子在 blue glow 后面的这个 cast， 请同学特别注意这里的 cast， 它并不是原形动词，而是过去分词。因为这个词呢是三态同形，这边表示这个蓝光，柔和的蓝光是谁所发出来的呢？就是这些 glowworms 蓝光虫。再来请同学看到的是第三段，第三段的第二个句子 Come and discover the fantastic blend of urban life and natural beauty。 请同学先把 blend 画起来，这个字它可以是动词也可以是名词，这里当然就是名词的用法，是混合的意思，所以就表示这里有都会生活也有大自然美景的混合。再来请同学看到就是 that 后面的 awaits 这个动词， await 跟 wait 是不是长得很像？不过要记住前面加了一个 a， await 它就是及物的用法，等待谁，等待什么。如果用 await 后面是不需要再加 for 再加受词的。好，以上是我们针对这一天课文所做的中文讲解，谢谢大家。
Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully we have inspired you to talk to your travel agent or to go online and get some tickets and travel to Gold Coast, Australia yourself. I'm sure you'll have a really great time. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.